A young black attorney's drive home turns into a trap when cops pull her over, mock her, and cuff her with fake charges, grinning as they humiliate her. She's DOJ Civil Rights, her badge hidden, her fight fierce. In a tense courtroom, dashcam proof and her credentials stun all, toppling their lies. Will justice break their grip? Dive into this gripping clash, where grit battles bias, truth shatters power, and a scorching day's arrest ignites a reckoning, leaving echoes of courage in the heat. The air along a quiet stretch of gray highway, on the outskirts of Macon, Georgia, shimmered with the mingled scents of blooming magnolias, lining the roadside, and the acrid tang of sun-scorched asphalt under a blistering August noon. Its stillness pierced by the relentless hum of cicadas, rising from the pine thickets that flanked the two-lane road. The outskirts, a patchwork of weathered ranch houses and overgrown fields dotted with rusting trailers, stretched beneath the shadow of the Ocmulgee River's distant banks, its pavement cracked and shimmering in the heat. The kind that rose in waves and clung to the skin. A damp weight that sharpened every sound. The drone of a pickup rumbling past. The faint buzz of a dragonfly skimming the weeds. The steady hum of tires rolling over the road's uneven surface. The day was sweltering. A punishing 92 degrees. The sky a pale blue streaked with wispy clouds. The air thick with the weight of humidity that pressed down like a blanket. A Georgia summer in full, unyielding bloom. Nia Jackson, 29, a Department of Justice Civil Rights Division attorney, with a steady mind honed by years dissecting systemic injustices in Washington, D.C., drove her silver Toyota Camry southbound at 12:40 p.m. Her weekend visit to her Macon hometown, a brief respite from the grind of depositions and late-night case files. Her dark hair was pulled into a sleek ponytail, strands tucked neatly beneath a baseball cap, emblazoned with Howard Law. Her steady brown eyes scanning the familiar road with a quiet alertness. Her hands firm on the wheel, her fingers still faintly scented with the ink of a memo she'd drafted at 1 a.m. before leaving D.C. Her blazer swapped for a simple white tank top and jeans. Her breath calm despite the 10-hour shift that had left her mind sharp but her body weary. She'd left Atlanta at 10:30 a.m., her life a disciplined rhythm of advocacy and solitude since her move north 4 years prior. Her Camry, a reliable companion, she'd nursed through Georgia's backroads, its dashboard glowing with the time 12:43 p.m. Her mind on the fried chicken and sweet tea waiting at her mama's house on Vineville Avenue, a rare taste of home amid her relentless work. At 12:45 p.m., flashing lights flared in her rearview mirror, a Macon Police Department cruiser, its red and blue beams cutting through the haze, pulling her over with a sharp blare of its siren that jolted her nerves, her steady, brown eyes narrowing as she eased the Camry onto the gravel shoulder, her mind racing. Speeding? No, 55 the limit. What's this? Her voice a whisper to the empty cab. Stay calm, Nia. Just show the license. Whoa. Two white officers stepped out, Ray Cobb, 38, with a sharp grin, and a temper that simmered like a live wire, and Tim Lyle, 35, lanky, with a quiet smirk. Their blue eyes glinting with irritation beneath furrowed brows. Their broad frames tense beneath crisp uniforms. Their breaths sharp with the sting of a long shift after a bar fight call at 2 a.m. Their minds a tangle of fatigue and a nagging itch to assert control. Cobb approached her window, his sharp voice slicing through the humid hush. License and registration now, girl. What are you doing out here? Nia turned, her steady brown eyes meeting his, her voice calm, measured. I'm driving home. Here's my ID. She reached into her glove box, her steady hand pulling her wallet. But Cobb leaned closer, his tone mocking. Home, huh? What's with the cap hiding something? Step out now. What unfolded was swift and surreal. Cobb grabbed her arm as she offered her license, yanking her from the car, his cuffs snapping shut with a cold click, his sharp voice barking. Resisting arrest, don't play smart, girl, I know your kind. Nia's steady gaze held firm, her voice calm despite the pain. I'm not resisting. I'm Nia Jackson, DOJ attorney, Civil Rights Division. You're wrong. Cobb laughed, a harsh edge cutting through the heat. DOJ? Sure. And I'm the governor. Keep talking, you're done. Lyle smirked, his quiet voice adding, She's feisty, threatened us, Ray. Cobb shoved her against the cruiser, his hands patting her down, his sharp voice loud for the gathering onlookers, drivers slowing. A gas station clerk peering from across the road. She's resisting, yelling, Watch this one. Nia stood cuffed, her steady brown eyes blazing with quiet fury, her voice low. Check my badge, you'll see. Cobb tossed it aside, his sharp tongue mocking. Fake, nice try, as he hauled her into the car, her dignity stripped in the blistering light. $15,000 in damages, looming legal fees. Lost work, the sting of humiliation. Nia saw bias, a calculated abuse of power that shattered her peace. Cobb and Lyle saw defiance, a moment's impulse spiraling out of control. She sued Cobb and Lyle wrongful arrest. Damages filing at the Bibb County Courthouse clerk's window 2 weeks later, August 15th. Her steady hands trembling as she signed. Her tank top swapped for a blazer. Her voice firm. They mocked me, cuffed me. Dashcam proves it. Their clash hit court, a storm brewing over truth and power. Macon's blistering noon, pressing down like a judge's scrutiny waiting to fall. The Bibb County Courthouse buzzed on a sweltering September afternoon, its marble halls echoing with footsteps that reverberated off the polished floors like a steady drumbeat, threading through the thick air. The scent of polished oak mingling with the faint musk of old files stacked in corners, their edges curling from years of handling and the damp heat that seeped through the walls after August's rains, and the sharp tang of coffee from paper cups clutched by restless hands, its bitter aroma drifting through the space, a hum of voices spilling from open courtrooms like whispers weaving through the stillness that settled over the room, its muggy warmth a stark contrast to the chill of the disputes within. The courtroom sat on the third floor, a grand space with oak benches worn smooth by years of Macon's disputes, divorce battles settled with terse nods or bitter glares that lingered in the air, criminal cases hashed out in clipped exchanges of blame and defense that left the room taut with unresolved tension, civil suits ending in reluctant settlements, or empty apologies that faded into the hummet's walls, lined with faded portraits of past judges, their edges curling under the weight of time and the humid air that seeped through the high windows, their glass streaked with afternoon haze, offering glimpses of Macon's skyline beyond, its brick buildings and distant Ocmulgee River glowing faintly in the overcast light. At the front, behind a raised bench, scarred with nicks and pen marks that traced decades of rulings and late-night deliberations over yellowed files, sat Judge Clara Monroe, 62, her gray hair tied back in a tight bun that gleamed under the fluorescent lights, accentuating the sharp lines of her weathered face etched by years of courtroom battles in Georgia summers, her blue eyes sharp with a quiet intensity that cut through the room's stillness like a hawk spotting movement across the Ocmulgee, seeing through bluster and bravado to the bone beneath, a gaze that missed nothing and weighed everything with precision. Her robe hung crisp over a firm frame, tempered by years of disciplined broad shoulders from years tending her garden in Lizella before law school, her voice steady with authority, then as now calling out to her roses across warm evenings, hands steady from wielding gavels and pens, their knuckles faintly knotted from gripping justice, with a clarity that left no room for evasion, her voice, a firm, steady drawl honed by a decade on the bench, carrying a steel forged through countless courtroom tangles as she called the case, her tone slicing through the muggy air like a whistle cutting a silent field. Jackson versus Cobb and Lyle. Civil claim. Wrongful arrest, damages dispute. Let's hear it, folks. And keep it tight. I want facts, not feelings. We're here for evidence, not excuses. I've got a docket stacked high, and this heat's not waiting for dawdling, so let's get moving. Nia sat at the plaintiff's table, flanked by her counsel, a wiry attorney named Tom Ellis with a rumpled suit that hung loose on his slight frame and a quick pen that danced across his notepad, his sharp brown eyes darting between his client and the bench. Evidence stacked before them, dashcam footage, DOJ badge, police report, affidavits, a tower of proof, her steady brown eyes glinting with resolve, her dark hair pulled into a sleek ponytail, her tank top traded for a crisp white blouse under a thrift store blazer, her hands steady on her folder despite the tremor of anger beneath her calm. A fire stoked by weeks of reliving that arrest and the officer's mockery. Cobb and Lyle sat at the defendant's table with their counsel, a polished police union lawyer named Rachel Sims, with a sleek suit and a steady gaze, papers thin and neatly arranged, their sharp edges steady as they adjusted their uniform ties, their blue eyes hard with defiance, their broad frames tense beneath pressed shirts, their breaths even as they braced for the fight, a faint whiff of cologne clinging to them like a second skin. Their lawyer's presence a shield they'd relied on to deflect scrutiny. Clara leaned forward, her elbows resting on the bench, her blue eyes scanning their filings, Nia's typed complaint for wrongful arrest and $15,000 in damages. Its pages crisp with dates, dollar amounts, and a detailed affidavit of the August 5th incident, laid out in stark black ink, her attorney's precision evident in every line. Cobb and Lyle's typed response, its pages neat but sparse, claiming, resisting arrest justified no wrongful act. Her pen tapping a slow, deliberate rhythm against her notepad. Each tap a signal she was sifting through their mess with the judge's stern gaze. Her voice cutting through the gallery's hum like a siren over the city. Proof's the line here every time I see it in this room and arrest's weight caught in the balance. Evidence decides, prove your case. Show me facts, not stories. I want specifics, not guesses. Let's cut to it. Who stopped? Who lied? I need clarity. Not chaos in this courtroom today. No tears, no tantrums. Just truth. Who's first? Her drawl carried a firm authority, her gaze shifting between them like a spotlight, seeking cracks in their armor, weighing their claims with a steadiness that brooked no evasion. Her hands steady on the bench as she flipped through Nia's complaint dashcam stills. August 5th, 12:45 p.m. All DOJ badge police report. Then Cobb and Lyle's response, a slim stack. Her lips thinning slightly as she read the timestamps, her blue eyes narrowing with a flicker of skepticism. Woman, claims frame-up officers claim duty, a badge's honor caught in the middle. I need proof, not pleas. Let's start with the plaintiff. The gallery buzzed, whispers swelling retirees like Ed Grayson, a grizzled mechanic with a thermos, muttering to his wife Clara, a retired clerk with a notepad. Cops mocked her, judge'll nail him, she's got video. Young workers like Tara Mills, a cashier with a faded apron in her bag, whispering to her friend Lena Ortiz, a barista with tired eyes. She's got 'em dashcam's gold, they're done. Cobb's union rep Sam Carter, lanky with a faded cap, nudging his pal Luke Ramsey, a mechanic with a thick beard. She resisted, judge'll see, raised solid. Their voices a low hum of anticipation, a chorus threading through the tension. Their bets and murmurs a backdrop to the courtroom's simmering storm. A pulse matching the muggy air and the light's steady glow overhead. A rhythm that quickened as Nia rose, her steady brown eyes fixed on Clara, her resolve a steel thread beneath her calm. Nia's jaw tightened, her fingers clenching her folder until the edges creased, her breath steadying as she stood, her sneakers silent on the marble. Cobb's hands steadied, his blue eyes flickering with defiance, his broad frame shifting slightly as he watched Clara's words, a gauntlet thrown. Their clash now a courtroom battlefield under her stern and unyielding gaze. Macon's blistering noon a faint shimmer beyond the tall windows, its fields dulled by haze. The city's quiet sprawl, a silent witness to their unraveling truth. Nia testified first, climbing the stand with a steady step that echoed softly off the marble floor. Her white blouse, crisp under her thrift store blazer, its navy fabric slightly faded, but pressed with the care of a woman who knew every detail could tip the scales. Her voice calm, but edged with a quiet fury that simmered beneath her attorney's poise. A fire stoked by weeks of reliving that arrest and the officer's mockery as she swore, her hand firm on the Bible, its leather creased and soft from years of oaths, a weight grounding her resolve. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. She sat, hands resting on the rail, fingers tracing its worn grain, as she adjusted the microphone with a faint squeak, her steady brown eyes locking on Clara, with a resolve tempered by years, dissecting injustice and guarding her dignity. Her dark ponytail swaying slightly as she leaned in, her breath steadying against the muggy air, her voice threading through the stillness. They stopped me, mocked me, August 5th, 12:45 p.m. Gray Highway cuffed me, charged me with resisting. Dashcam shows that I'm Nia Jackson, DOJ, Civil Rights Division attorney. They abused their power. She slid her evidence across the stand. Dashcam stills. Time stamped August 5th, 12:45 p.m. DOJ badge, police report, affidavits. Her voice steady, carrying across the room with a weight that filled the silence. An attorney's precision beneath her calm. 12:45 p.m. August 5th, Gray Highway. Driving home, they pulled me over, said, license. I gave it Cobb, grabbed me, cuffed me, mocked DOJ. Nice try. Lyle said, she's feisty. Dashcam shows. I didn't resist. Police report says resisting arrest. False badge proves my rank. They lied. What? Clara leaned forward, her blue eyes sharp and unyielding. Her pen poised over her notepad, its nib glinting faintly under the fluorescent lights as she tapped it once, a signal she was digging into the marrow of Nia's words, her voice cutting dry through the muggy air like a blade through fog. Dashcam clear, exact. What's it? Showtime. Action, prove it to me. Not just your say-so, I need the stop, not your story. Nia's hands steadied, her voice firm, her steady brown eyes glinting with a fire that burned beneath her calm as she slid stills forward, her fingers steady despite the tremor of anger. Here, Dashcam, 12:45. 03 p.m., August 5th, Gray Highway. I'm driving 55 miles per hour, speed limit. Cobb pulls me over, 12:45. 05 p.m., grabs my arm, cuffs me, 12:45. 07 p.m. Lyle joins stills, show it videos full. 15 seconds, I'm calm. Hands out, they're rough. No resist, road's quiet. They didn't need to cuff me. Resisting, prove it false. How's it show you didn't fight? Not just your word. Show me your peace, not their push. Dashcam, 12:45, 05 p.m. Hands up, offering license. Cobb twists, cuffs me, no push, no. Yell texts August 4th. Visiting Macon, to my boss, calm witness saw it, said she didn't fight. They lied. I stood still, she said, her voice rising slightly. A tremor of fury breaking through her calm, her steady brown eyes glinting with a flicker of pain beneath the resolve, her hands trembling faintly as she pointed to the stills. Damage cost specifics. What's it cover? Show me the loss, not just a number. $15,000 legal fees, $7,000 lost wages, $5,000 therapy, $3,000 affidavit, August 15 bills. Here, Dashcam shows humiliation. Public shame, lost work, she said, her voice firm, her hands unclenching slightly, her steady brown eyes meeting Clara's sharp scrutiny, her resolve a steel thread beneath her calm. Clara scribbled, her voice dry as the Macon dust outside, her drawl measured but piercing. Videos, steel badges key, their turn, I need their side facts, don't lie, people twist, go on. Cobb countered, climbing the stand with a heavy step that thudded against the marble, his pressed uniform tense over his broad frame, his sharp grin steady but edged with defiance as he swore, his hand heavy on the Bible, its weight grounding his resolve. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. He sat, hands gripping the rail, fingers digging into the wood as he adjusted the microphone, his blue eyes locking on Clara with defiance, and a flicker of unease that simmered beneath his broad frame, his breath steady as he leaned in. She resisted August 5th, 12:45 p.m. Yelled, fought, no DOJ proof, just words. I acted right, she defied me. Lyle saw it. He slid his thin papers across the stand, police report, handwritten notes, his voice sharp, cutting through the muggy air like a baton on pavement. 12:45 p.m., August 5th, Gray Highway. Speeding, called license, she yelled, you'll see. Pushed my arm. No ID shown. Resisted cuffs. Lyle saw it report. Says resisting arrest. She's lying. Clara. Resisting exact when, where proof she fought, show me facts not words. 12:45 p.m. August 5th, Gray. Highway said license. She yelled, you'll see. Pushed my arm. 12:45. 5 p.m. Resisted cuffs. Lyle saw it, wrote it, no fight, I'd let her go, he said, his hand steady, his blue eyes meeting Clara's sharp gaze, his voice rising slightly, his sharp tone a shield against the accusation. ID, prove it false. How's it show no rank? Not just your hunch, show me her bluff, not your bust. No ID shown. 12:45 p.m. Just words. DOJ sounded fake. No badge, no card. Lyle saw it report. Says resisting arrest. No proof, she's legit, he said, his voice wavering, his hands clenching the report, his blue eyes glinting with a flicker of doubt beneath the defiance. Actions, why cuff, what did she do? Prove duty, not disdain. Show me cause not your call. 12:45 p.m. Speeding, pushed my arm, yelled, you'll see. Resisted cuffs, duty says. Cuff threats, report backs it, no disdain, just law, he said, his voice firm, his hands unclenching slightly, his blue eyes pleading beneath the strain. Clara scribbled, her voice sharp, her blue eyes narrowing. Words bend, evidence talks. Video's next witnesses. I need steel, not straw. Witnesses fueled the tension, their voices threading through the muggy air like sparks in a dry wind, each adding fuel to the blaze. The gas station clerk, Mason Lee, a wiry man with a steady gaze and calloused hands, testified, climbing the stand with a calm step, his voice steady, his brown eyes clear. August 5th, 12:45 p.m. Gray Highway, saw her pulled over, calm hands out. Cobb grabbed her, twisted her arm, cuffed her, she didn't fight. Saw it from my counter 50 feet away. Clara. Exact time, what did you see? How'd she act? Prove it, not guess. Show me her calm, not their claim. 12:45 p.m. August 5th, counter saw her stand, calm hands out. 12:45:05 p.m. Cobb grabbed, twisted, cuffed, no fight, no yell, saw it clear 50 feet away, Mason said, his voice calm, his hands steady, his brown eyes meeting Clara's sharp gaze, his words a steady thread cutting through the hum. Lyle countered, climbing the stand with a heavy step that thudded against the marble, his pressed uniform tense over his lanky frame, his quiet smirk steady, but edged with defiance as he swore, his hand heavy on the Bible, its weight grounding his resolve. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. He sat, hands gripping the rail, fingers digging into the wood as he adjusted the microphone, his blue eyes locking on Clara with defiance and a flicker of unease that simmered beneath his lanky frame, his breath steady as he leaned in. She pushed. August 5th, 12:45 p.m. Hostile yelled, you'll see. Resisted cuffs. No DOJ proof, just words. Ray acted right, she fought us. I saw it. He slid his thin papers across the stand, police report, handwritten notes, his voice quiet, cutting through the muggy air like a whisper on patrol. 12:45 p.m. August 5th, Gray Highway. Speeding, Ray said license. She pushed, yelled, you'll see. 12:45. 5 p.m. Resisted cuffs. I saw it from the car report. Says resisting arrest. She's lying, Clara. Resisting exact when where proof she fought, show me facts not words. 12:45 p.m. August 5th, car. 10 feet back, Ray said. License. She pushed his arm. 12:45. 5 p.m. Yelled, you'll see. Resisted cuffs, I saw it, wrote it, no fight, she'd be free, he said, his hands steady, his blue eyes meeting Clara's sharp gaze, his voice rising slightly, his quiet tone a shield against the accusation. ID, prove it false. How's it show no rank? Not just your hunch, show me her bluff, not your bust. No ID, shown 12:45 p.m. Just words. DOJ, no badge, no card. Sounded fake, report says. Resisting arrest, no proof. She's legit, he said, his voice wavering, his hands clenching the report, his blue eyes glinting with a flicker of doubt beneath the defiance. Actions, Why cuff? What did she do? Prove duty, not disdain. Show me cause, not your call. 12:45 p.m. Speeding. Pushed Ray's arm, yelled, "You'll see." Resisted cuff's duty, says cuff threats report backs it. "No disdain, just law," he said, his voice firm, his hands unclenching slightly, his blue eyes pleading beneath the strain. Clara scribbled, her voice sharp, her blue eyes narrowing. Words bend evidence, talks videos next witnesses. I need steel, not smoke. Evidence clashed. Nia's dashcam stills, August 5th, 12:45:03 p.m. Calm and Camry. Cobb grabs, 12:45:05 p.m. Cuffs, 12:45:07 p.m. Be clear. DOJ badge. Nia Jackson, Civil Rights Division. Police report, 12:45 p.m. Resisting arrest alleged. Cobb and Lyle's report. 12:45 p.m. Suspect resisted, no ID shown. And Lyle's statement, 12:45 p.m. Saw push hostile. Clara probed, voice sharp, her blue eyes blazing. Calm or fight? Dashcam shows calm. Why cuff? Prove it to me. Officers Cobb and Lyle, duty or disdain? What's it say? Cobb. Fight, she pushed, yelled, "You'll see." No ID, duty says cuff. Dashcam's off on truth. Clara. Dashcam's fact, your fight bends next. A week of heat testimony piled like logs on a fire. Voices rose like thunder rolling over the Okmulgee. Papers shuffled into stacks, their edges curling in the muggy air, their ink smudged from anxious hands. The courtroom, a crucible simmering with sweat and strain, its air thick with the weight of words and the hum of the gallery's murmurs, swelling like a storm breaking over the fields. Clara recessed daily, retreating to her chambers, a quiet nook with a scratched desk cluttered with files and a half-read novel, its pages yellowed from years on the shelf. A window framing Macon's skyline, hazy through a streaked pane. The city's brick buildings and river dulled by afternoon haze. Her coffee cooling untouched beside a stack of Georgia statutes and a worn legal pad, its pages scribbled with notes, timestamps, frames, her boots tapping a steady rhythm against the hardwood as she paced. Her mind sifting through the tangle with a judge's stern precision, weighing every word, every glance, every scrap of evidence against the emotional current swirling beneath like the Okmulgee River's hidden depths. Its flow steady but unseen, its silt muddying the truth. She returned on Monday, September 25th, her robe rustling as she climbed the bench, her voice firm, cutting through the room's hum like a blade through silence. Her blue eyes sweeping the gallery, then settling on the tables with a weight that pinned them like stones under a field's steady sun. Her presence, a stern anchor in the storm, her drawl sharp. Dashcam clears her charges. False exonerated investigated, August 5th, 12:45 p.m. Arrest wrongful, $15,000 to Jackson. She leaned forward, her pen tapping once, her voice rising, her blue eyes blazing like a storm over the pines. Her words, a thunderclap that silenced the room. Evidence don't lie. Officers Cobb and Lyle, you do. Dashcam 12:45:03 p.m. August 5th. She's calm, hands out, 12:45:05 p.m. Cobb grabs, twists cuffs. No resist, 12:45:07 p.m. Lyle joins badge, says DOJ Civil Rights Division police report. Resisting. Flops witness, saw it, calm, no fight. Your threat bends duties clear. You mocked, cuffed, lied. $15,000 legal fees, wages, therapy. Due 30 days, you're investigated, truth's out. So, Nia stood tall, her steady brown eyes softening, a flicker of triumph washing over her, her hands unclenching on her folder. A weight lifted through the echo of that arrest lingered, a shadow of dignity reclaimed. Cobb sank, his blue eyes dim, his broad frame slumping, his hands clenching his report until it tore fault clear. Lies a shadow unmasked, a truth he couldn't shrug off, a burden now etched in his bones. The gallery gasped, Ed muttering, "She's got videos, King." Clara nodding. "Fair's fair, they lied." Tara whispering, "Told you Dashcam wins." Lena grinning, "She's fierce." Sam shaking his head, "They saw resist mistake." Luke silent. Clara's gavel fell. A crisp thud, wood meeting wood, echoing like a door slamming shut, silencing the storm. $15,000 due, 30 days. Cobb and Lyle investigated facts, clear Ms. Jackson exonerated next case. Outside, Macon shimmered under a dusk streaked with amber and violet. The air cooling, as the sun sank behind the pines, its golden light glinting off the Ocmulgee's gentle ripples. Nia drove off in her Camry, its silver finish gleaming faintly, her steady brown eyes glinting with relief and a quiet triumph. Her hands steady on the wheel, as she headed home to Vineville Avenue, the hum of the engine a melody beside her. A future brighter, but still tender. Her mind drifting to the federal probe she'd sparked, DOJ calls, protests swelling, a pause after the storm. A question lingering. Would justice root deep in Macon? Or would Cobb's shadow stretch further? Cobb faded into the courthouse lot. His cruiser parked crooked, its white finish dulled by dusk. His blue eyes hard, his broad frame slumped against the door. His hands gripping his cap, tension unspent, a storm brewing beneath his silence. His sharp voice muttering to the wind, "She fought. I saw it." A shadow of doubt he couldn't shake, a fault he couldn't shrug off, a burden now etched in his stride as he climbed in and drove west, his taillights fading into the blistering glow. A cop's pride dented by a lie's cost, a question trailing behind him. Could he reclaim honor lost to a moment's disdain? Clara drove home to her house on the city's edge, its cedar siding golden under the fading sun, now swallowed by dusk, the Ocmulgee a silhouette against the sky, its edges blurring into shadow, magnolias whispering in the breeze, her sedan rumbling over asphalt, its tires humming a steady tune as she pondered. Would change bloom between an attorney and a town bound by an arrest's violent turn? Would resilience's weight soften or drift further into the dusk like a lesson unlearned, a bond unhealed? The horizon stretched, Georgia's fields whispering under a sky deepening to indigo, the river glinting faintly, a mirror to her thoughts. What heals a scar carved by power? What waits in the blistering golden glow for a woman with a badge and cops with shame? What lessons linger in the warm air for an arrest that broke trust, but not her spirit? A question hung, open and vast, shimmering in Macon's quiet night. A truth unresolved. A story trailing into the dusk. Its next chapter waiting beyond the courtroom, beyond the fields, beyond the glow that settled over the city like a promise yet to unfold. A whisper of what might be in the silence after the storm. Thank you all for watching this video. Please comment and let me know what you think about this story. Please like and subscribe to watch more great content on my channel.